It is December 6th. WIKISPEED Standup. Lauren, if you want to take us away.
Okay, Lauren Salter, Gabriel Island, British Columbia, Canada. This past week, didn't do too much. I did, as promised, get on Trello and put the process improvement or project we were talking about on. And beyond that, not too much. Still been scrambling about just every day and health things. And I did get to my Linux meeting, which I kind of count as education. So that was the past week. Coming week, really don't know, but I will think about, or try, I will what I would be doing if I can is finish the charitable reporting, and maybe put a few thoughts together about the little red wagon we talked about. And blocks are, I kind of covered them. Health and, oh, I can't say this. It's been cold here. I can't say this to you. It's been cold here. So that's it for me.
Okay, well, cold is always relative. It's Michael Wolchuk in Saskatoon for last week. Unfortunately, I messed up the recording from last week, so it didn't get posted. And I did begin working on my workbench. I tried making a model and discovered that the two designs that I had chosen don't really work that well together. So I abandoned it because it was getting too complex. I found a couple of simple designs and basically put them together. The top is 2x4s edge to edge with 2x4 supports under it, glued and screwed together. I actually support it on the wall on the one side, and then there's just two legs on the front. So it's nice and simple. I haven't got the OSB top on it yet. That'll make it a little flatter. The 2x4s edge to edge didn't work out to be absolutely flat because nothing is ever flat. It's twisted a little bit, it's warped a little bit, or whatever. So that's why I was going to use the OSB on the top to begin with. I got a picture of it in my stand-up post. And what am I doing next week? So next week I've got the solar panel still in the yard. I don't have the solar controller on it yet. And I need to put some wiring to it, get the cable brought into the garage, and just charge up my pack. I would like to work on the Polaris Ranger, get the winch set up so that I can actually drag it in and out of the garage easier. And lastly would be the trailer. I bought some new running lights for the trailer because I keep breaking them. They're right on the back edge of the trailer, and they've been kicking around my truck for the last 3 months. I really should put the stupid things on. So that's it for next week. Blocks, nothing worth mentioning, just basically trying to get more time to work on it. And I guess that takes us to retro, Lauren.
Okay, so it's a 3 for me and a 8 for the team. And process improvement. I'm kind of blank right now, so I'm not going to talk about one, and that's that.
Okay. Retro, I did a little bit more than I was hoping to. Actually, I did more than I planned to, but not nearly as much as I hoped to. Anyway, I gave myself 10 out of 10 because I got it done, and I'm getting this recorded. At least I hope I am. We have a couple of I don't have a process improvement either. We really have to figure out how to get more people on stand-up, and that's kind of where we sit. I guess that's about it. You said you had something for crosstalk?
One thing just, yeah. One thing I just thought of is, again, I think we need to challenge people more, demand more, have kind of things. It can be existing backlog things and everything, but that's kind of my thought for the week. People are looking for demanding, difficult things to do. That's my theory. That to a degree, we're not challenged enough because
Mm-hmm.
I think I mentioned that I was having to sit next to my wife who's recovering, and so I was having to sit for long periods of time. So I put a learning app, called Solo Learn, on my tablet, my Android tablet, and then I'm most of the way through a Python, quite a good Python course, I think. So
Good.
that's kind of partly why I'm thinking that. It was kind of a circumstance where I had every excuse not to do anything, and every reason not to do anything. But in fact, it was a relief. I've found that before. Sometimes when things are tough, you kind of throw yourself into something that's like a distraction, but it's also an opportunity to challenge yourself. And somehow that, especially particularly when in a situation where you have to wait a lot, or a lot of anxiety about stuff. So maybe that's one of the thoughts.
Okay.
Another thing is in my Linux group, there's a guy who's going through solar stuff. He has a bike shop here. I mentioned him before. He's got so this island is a really hotbed of electric bikes. So they're kind of selling like hotcakes here because the island's fairly small, but it's big enough that and the hills are steep enough that most people don't ride, and even people who like to get the exercise, they love the e-bikes because, like, for example, you get off the ferry, there's a really steep hill, and you're likely to be, on a late ferry at the end of a long day, so you don't necessarily want to climb the hill on your bike at that point. So people love these, and the batteries are getting crazy bigger and stronger. He has a Delta. No, he has a tadpole trike, which is a trike with a recumbent tadpole, 2 wheels in the front, 1 at the back, and he's got the battery is where you like a large, like a limestone brick, but a little smaller, a little flatter than that, sitting on the back carrier where the carrier would be, and he can. If he really guns it, then he just sinks into the gravel rather than going. It just shoots gravel around.
So he's taken some of the restrictions off, has he?
I think in general, like the manufacturers are not really complying with all those restrictions.
Oh, really?
Because everybody's got crazy powerful, and so I don't know if they come with them and you there's an option to remove them, or if they're just not enforcing them a lot.
Okay.
But and in fact, one of my friends taking his bike, which really isn't off-road. He's been tossed twice off. He's my age. So I keep telling him, don't take it off-road. You need a special off-road machine.
Sounds like he could be doing damage to himself if he doesn't be careful.
Yes, he does.
Did you Did you take a look at a couple of the links I posted?
The ATV looks insane, and then it seemed like you threw cold water on it with your more sober assessment. How could this be?
Well, the how could this be is using online calculators that are kind of used for hydraulics.
Right.
So I don't know if they're using the same assumptions, but if you throw the numbers into the calculator, something doesn't quite add up. So, but even if you're only going 20 miles an hour, that's still okay, right?
Yeah, there's only still pictures of it. There's no video. I couldn't
There's
find it.
video. There was video on the site, I think.
Oh, then I missed it. I was
Okay.
trying to scroll and try and find it, but I want to see it. What about do the calculators allow you to include the incompressibility? Because that's what they were advertising, right? Is it
Well, hydraulic fluid is pretty much the same incompressibility as the water.
Oh yeah.
So you're not looking for springiness out of it, but you still gotta, like, there's so many gallons per minute that you have to go through, and 120 gallons a minute's a big pump.
Right.
So, I mean, I know it's 100 horsepower, but that's a heck of a flow. So
right.
But some of those kind of far out there designs that the Marines had, or that were submitted for the Marine competition, you could actually do with the hub motors. They were perfectly doable if you didn't have to put a linkage of some sort for the motors.
Yeah. I mean, what's interesting is it's kind of a throwback, but now you got computer control, and like they were saying, you can. Yeah. It had the interesting thing about it being electromagnetic pulse immune, controlling things with flows of liquid.
Yeah, so if you just started a gas motor with a carb, and you used a throttle and a couple of valves, then you're off to the races, kind of thing. Which sounds like something that you could make work pretty much anywhere, even if you didn't have a whole lot of spare parts, as long as you didn't break something actually in the hub motor.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Anyway, it was pretty interesting. And so the weight of the motors and those kind of limitations. Really good at those kind of feasibility estimates.
Okay. Is there anything else you'd like to talk about?
No. No. That's it. Yeah, it was good talking to you.
Yeah, we had a couple more people join this week. I was hoping they were gonna join us on stand up, but I guess that didn't happen. So
okay, I'll add a third thing, and maybe I'll Trello it. That I look at the list, look at people who've joined in the last 2 months, and send them out a special invite.
Okay. So are you gonna?
But I'll even say we're trying to get more people on the call. There's usually 2 of us. Yeah.
I think we're going to end up sending out a new invite for the meeting. It'll come with the normal hangout, or the normal weekly stand-up meeting. The link, I ran out of scheduled meetings. Somehow I deleted the meetings. So when I create a new meeting, it always gives a different number. So I have to get Chris to change the link number. And once I do that, then maybe next week or the week after, I can try to get you to do the recording, just to prove that you can.
Yes, I was wondering about that. I remember we talked about that earlier, and I'm interested in doing that. I'm actually, that's like a whole thing of video conferencing. It's a kind of a thing I like to track.
Right now, I'm doing kind of a workaround because I've run out of meetings. But if we join the old meeting, then I can go in and record a meeting already in progress. So it's kind of a not the direct way into Zoom. So I'd rather get the new link working before you give it a shot.
Yeah, cool. Okay.
Okay. Alrighty.
Okay. Good week.
We will talk to you next week.
Bye now.
Bye bye. Stop that.